bullish sentiment of Fcmb stocks. Now, bullish sentiment means the general positive opinion of an investor or a trader towards a particular stock or security. Now, if I say I'm bullish over Fcmb stocks, what I mean is that I have a positive opinion or belief concerning the Fcmb stock, that in this 2025, Fcmb stock is going to do well, that this very company is going to deliver. Now, if I want to invest in the Fcmb or any of the 145 company that is listed in Nigeria stock market, I need to carry out my due diligence. As an investor or a trader, I will not just put in my money into the stock market, but I want to carry out my due diligence. I want to be sure if this very company I want to invest in is doing well or not. And for me to carry out my due diligence, I have to undergo what we call a fundamental analysis, and at the same time, I will connect it to my technical analysis. Now, when you talk about the fundamental here, an investor or a trader want to check the financial statements, at the same time, the financial position of Fcmb. You want to know if the company is fundamentally sound, if the financial health of the company is okay. You need to find out. Before you put in your money, you want to know what is the debt to equity ratio of this very company. Is the company living on debts, or they are living on the shareholders fund? You want to be sure if the company is even owing at all or not. For you to do that, you need to carry out what is called a fundamental analysis. Now, the Q1 of 2025 result of Fcmb, this is the first quarter. A few days ago, they released their first quarter result of 2025. Let's see, compare with 2024. Now, the first 3 months in Q1 2025, which is, we want to look at their gross earning, which represent the revenue of the bank. The gross revenue of Fcmb is 252.69 billion. When compared to Q1 2024, it surged with 14.13%, which is good. What about the interest income? The interest income comes in form of the loan and advances that has been given to the customers. We have it in 2025 Q1 to be 214.36 billion. When compared to Q1 2024, the figure increased by 70.96%, which is also good. Now look at here. We have what is called a trading income. What is company trade? They invested in FGS bond. They invested in treasury bill. So the income generated from the investment they made is 14.34 billion. When compared to Q1 2024, the figure surged by 50.75%. Now, profit before tax, 35 billion. Compared to Q1 of 2024, it's also increased by 11.73%. This is profit after tax, 32 billion. Increased by 14.29%. As at the time of shooting this video, the market capitalization of Fcmb is 396.05 billion. As at last week Friday, the volume traded, the number of shares that exchanged hand in the stock market for the Fcmb is 4.59 million units of shares were exchanged by the investors. We have what is called a share float, which is 39.21 billion. Share float here means the total number of shares that a company make available to the general public. This is different from the share that is being kept by the insider. We have 39.21 billion. EPS, earning per share. In 2025, earning per share is 3.25. But in 2024, earning per share is 5.18. You can see that there is a decrease in earning per share. And what led to the decrease in earning per share? Do not forget that last year, Fcmb auctioned public offer And this year, early this year, they listed 19.8 billion units of shares were listed in the Nigeria stock market, which caused what is called a share dilution. And that is why when you finish this, you are going to have minus 44. So the earning per share is minus 44%. And what actually caused the earning per share is because of the share that was listed, the public offer of last year that was listed, which is about 19.80 billion units of shares. What about the PE ratio? This is price to earning ratio. We use the price to earning ratio to detect if a company stock is undervalued or overvalued. Now, how do you calculate your price to earning ratio? The price to earning ratio simply means the price of the shares, which is 10 naira, over the earning per share, which is 3.25%. If you finish, you are going to have 3.1x. So, since the PE ratio is very low, it means the stock of Fcmb or the shares of Fcmb is an undervalued stock. What I've done is fundamental analysis, of which I am satisfied with my fundamental. This fundamental actually confirms to me that this company is on the growth trajectory. But that is not enough for me. That is not enough for me to come to a conclusion in subscribing or catching the early bird with Fcmb. Let me look at my fundamental. I want to connect my fundamental to my technical. I have considered fundamental before, but I want to look at technical as well. I will connect both technical and fundamental together. In the technical analysis, there are various tools or what we call indicators that can be used by a trader to explain the technical analysis. We have various tools, and among them is look at the price. The price of Fcmb share is 10 naira, trading at 10 naira. Here we have this 50 days simple moving average, 9 naira 10 kobo. 100 days simple moving average is 9 naira 22 kobo. We have 20 days exponential moving average, which is 9 naira 2 kobo. These are various tools. Now, when we say 50 days simple moving average, it means the last 50 days, the price of security in the last 50 days is 9.10 kobo. And we have the 100 days. Now, if I want to use this one, this indicator, if I want to use it to detect or to know whether I should buy or not of Fcmb stocks, this is how I'm going to use it. Now, look at it. When the 100 days is above the 50 days, you can see the 100 days is above the 50 days. And the 20 days crosses the 50 days. But the price of the security, which is 10 naira, is above the 100 days simple moving average. Then I can subscribe to the shares of the company. What am I saying? Look at it. The 100 days, 9 naira 22 kobo, is above the 50 days simple moving average. Now, the 20 days simple moving average also cut across the 50 days moving average. But the price of the security, which is 10 naira, is greater than the 100 days simple moving average, which is 9 naira 22 kobo. With this, it means I can catch the early bird. I can take position of the Fcmb stocks. Although this can be better explained when you are using the trading view or investing, because all this thing comes in form of graph. But I'm just trying to explain it in a way that we can understand. Now, here we have the MACD. The MACD means, okay, the MACD is even subdivided into three. This is moving average, convergence, and divergence. MACD. We have the MACD line here. We have the signal line. We have the histogram. And we have what is called average directional index. This is another tool of the technical analysis. How do we make use of this tool? Now, when you talk about the MACD here now, MACD is another indicator or tools or instrument used by the trader to identify the momentum, the direction, the movement, and the strength of the price of the security or the shares. Now, how do we make use of the MACD now? We have what is called a MACD line. Now, let me just draw something here to explain this better. We have something like this. Let me say this is MACD. This is MACD. This is MACD. Now, you can have a line like this. You have one line like this. Let's assume you have another one like this. Now, this is the MACD. This is the MACD line. Yeah, this is signal line. Now, let me explain something. When the MACD line, this MACD line, if the MACD line from the technical analysis, if the MACD line is above the signal line, you can see that the MACD line here is above the signal line. It means the histogram, this histogram is positive. And when the histogram is positive, when the MACD line is sitting comfortably above the signal line, it means there is an upward trend. It's a buy signal. Once you see a MACD line sitting comfortably above the signal line, that is a signal to buy. It's a bullish sign. It means the buyer is about to take control of the market. It means the buyer is about to push the price upward. So there is a positive momentum. That is why the histogram will be positive. Here, you see that your histogram will be positive. When you look at the technical analysis, the histogram will be positive, which means once the MACD line is above the signal line, it's a positive sign that the stock is about to go up. The price of the stock is about to move up. So it's a bullish signal and it's a sign to buy. Now, once you see a signal line that is below the MACD line, it means the stock is about to experience what we call a downward trend, which is a bearish signal. At that stage, you sell. Take note, the MACD line sitting comfortably above the signal line is a sign of it's a bullish sign, which means you can buy the stock at that very moment, because the buyer is about to take control of the market. And once buyer take control of the market, they hijack the price, they push the price upward. But once the signal line is below the MACD line, that is the signal line. When it is above the MACD line, it means the seller is about to take control of the market. So there will be a price reversal, which is a bearish signal. At that moment, if you own that stock, then you sell. The difference between the MACD line and the signal line is what gives us the histogram. And the histogram could be positive or negative. It is positive once the MACD line is above the signal line. It is positive. But if the signal line is above the MACD line, it is negative. The histogram will be negative. And at that stage, you sell. This is how we make use of the MACD line, the signal line, and the histogram. Now, what do we call average directional index? The average directional index is used by a stock trader to identify the strength of the trend, whether the strength of the trend is upward or downward. And when you see average directional index, what this one tend to tell us is that the sell-off is over. Average directional index, the strength of the trend, is telling us that the sell-off is over, that the stock is now in what we call oversold territory. So we can actually combine the technical analysis instrument with that of fundamental to come to the conclusion before you take position in the stocks. You can see how I've been able to connect my technical analysis with that of fundamental analysis. So with these two, once I'm satisfied with these two, then I'm bullish over the Fcmb stocks. So with what I've done now, I am bullish that this very company is going to do well in 2025 by considering both technical analysis and fundamental analysis. With this, we have come to the end of today's class. Thank you.